Hi, today I will teach you the chapter The Tide Has Turned. Okay. Azagi was a large woman. She wore a lungi and a loose blondes. Yes, yeah. Usually in bright colors. Every evening before setting up her shop in the fish market, she would pick a wild flower and put it in her messy. Neither the flower nor the bright colored blooms did much for her. But Azhagi didn't care. She loved flowers and she wore them every day. What the world thought of her didn't matter to Azhagi. Azhagi came to India as a refugee. Do you know the meaning of refugee? Someone who has to leave her country or his country and live in another country. Live in another country. Okay. Azagi meant beautiful in her language. Okay. In her, she had a good sense of humor, which poverty and hunger could not take away from her. She would launch and joke around with the other villagers. Azagi never cried. She didn't cry when all the other fishermen returned from the sea without her husband. Means his means her husband died. Okay. The meaning of this is so his husband died and he never cried. She didn't cry when she went to sleep on an almost empty stomach every night. She didn't cry when a storm blew the roof off her hut one day. She didn't cry when she sold her silver bangle. Silver bangle. The one last possession she had to buy Arasia's books. She would often say, I will cry when the sea dries up. Means the sea will not dry up. Okay. So she told this to people. I managed to get, as long as I managed to get a handful of fish to sell and feed my Arasi, I will keep laughing. Arasi, Asagi's daughter, was an earnest little girl. Earnest meaning sincere. Sincere, okay. Yes. She was always the first one to reach her school. On her way to school, she was accompanied by her mother Azhagi. The latter used to shop at the house of an sorry, yes, of an old lady who lived alone. Very quickly, Azhagi to sit. Very quickly, Azhagi would sweep the old lady's house, fill 2 pots of water for cooking, mm, and help the old lady around, turning the wheels of her chair and moving from one place to another. Arasi loved her mother and respected her a lot for working so hard. For working hard, she loved her mother. As Arasi, sorry, and not Azaki. Yes. Mm, yes. Azhagi often told her daughter that she named her Arasi because it meant queen. Arasi means queen. So she will live like a queen. Okay. She said, what my parents wanted for me could never come true. I could never go to school, but I know that you will live like a queen one day. You must you must study very hard, get a job and lead a decent life. I want you to live like a queen and not selfish. Okay. This is not that selfish. No. This is selfish. This one. Selfish. The meaning of this. Okay. Okay. See, Azagi didn't want that her daughter will become a selfish, live like a selfish. Arasi's school report showed that she was working very hard. She listened to every word that her teacher spoke, did her written work neatly, and also showed interest in art and music. She was an obedient student. Arasi's teachers were delegated with her. Okay. It was Independence Day. Okay. It was Independence Day. A scientist from Germany was invited as a chief guest for the flag hosting ceremony at Arasi school. Okay. He had come to inspect the school as he wanted to donate money for a new scientist laboratory. He had heard a lot about the good work the school was doing for poor children. When he went around the school, he noticed that although the other children were talking and laughing amongst each other, Arasi had her eyes focused on her work. She looked at her notebook and was amazed. He looked at her notebook and was amazed. He asked her the teacher, "This this little girl is brilliant." He ans he answers he answers hmm, her answers are so precious. Who are her parents? The principal looked him aside and told him about Arasi. The visitor was so touched by Arasi's story that he wanted to meet her mother. Arasi took him along to her hut. The visitor was shocked to see the poverty all around him. Then he said to Azhagi, "Madam, would you mind if I send your daughter to a boarding school to study? She is a brilliant student. I am a member of an organization that provides scholarship to students like her. I would like to help Arasi study further." Azhagi could not answer as she was overcome by gratitude. Azhagi was delegated at this turn of events. She told her daughter Arasi, "It is see God blessings that we can arrange for your studies. Now you can receive proper education and lead a decent life. I am no longer worried about your future." "Yes, mother," said Arasi, "the tide has finally turned." Okay, I will erase the board now. We will do question answers. I will cry. Reading comprehension A part. I will cry when the sea dries up. As long as I manage to get a handful fish to sell and feed my Arasi, I will keep laughing. A. Question is, who is the speaker? Who is the speaker? You will write the answer is Azhagi is the speaker. You should write full answers in your notebook. B. What does this tell us about the speaker? This is your homework. B part is your homework. Please write it in the comment section. What does this tell us about the speaker? Speaker. Okay, this is your homework. I will erase the board. If you know the answer, please write it in the comment section. Okay. Who is Arasi? C part. Who is Arasi? You will write Arasi was the daughter of Azhagi. Arasi was the daughter of Azhagi. You don't have time. We will write the D part is describe Arasi's relationship with the speaker. D is your homework. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day.